Hello, thanks for joining me again. Time to look at another chart. This is gold futures weekly chart. So we'll have a quick look at it. I've got a couple of older levels marked. You can see here, these are really old levels. I've only got them in thin lines because I'm not sure how much they're going to affect the market, but they're there all the same, and they're worth noting because they haven't been touched for quite a while. Now you can see when price moved up to this first line quite a number of weeks ago, price stopped at that line and then spent a little period of time doing some absorption. This is some form of bullish absorption. You can see price threatened to move down here, but the next bar was up. And if you draw a rough line, you can see price just spent some time absorbing any supply that may have been sitting just above this level. It's not unusual. This bar here is quite interesting. It's very, very narrow spread, but really quite high volume. You can only suggest for that that was strong absorption taking place, especially when the next bar was up in response. And you can see when price moved up, it got up here, and then it had a little bit of difficulties coming in. You can see this bar and this bar and this bar, some pretty good volumes, all closed poorly right at the lows of their bar, or very close to the lows of their bars. It's unsure at the moment whether this is some form of absorption at this very old longer term level. It's really difficult to know. Price has held on for quite some time at this level. Now you can see in response to this bar here, at some point price did look like it was going to break down. Instead, price responded and closed higher, only marginally, but higher all the same. And then the week following was only a modest down bar within the range of the previous bar on reduced volume. We have question marks here. We're unsure. It's starting to look weak, but there's been no actual response to push prices lower. Maybe there's a catalyst required, or maybe price is just absorbing supply at this really old level, and once that supply has been absorbed, price will then move higher again. It's up in the air at the moment. Okay, remove those lines. I'll just put back a couple of the more interesting ones. Now, if price was to break down in response here, or at least push lower, I would expect some increased support in this range here. So there's not a long way for price to come down, if it was to come down from here. And then again, I would expect some support in this area here. So you've got a level between 1400 and 1450-ish, and around the 1300. But as yet, we're yet to see price really break down, or any weakness to really emerge. We've got things set up to show that it might be weak, or there might be some weakness in the market, but it hasn't actually shown itself. This bar here, at some point during this week, would have looked like price was going to break down. I'm not sure what happened this week. There's been so many news items coming out of the US that it could have been anything. It might have been the bad manufacturing numbers. The equities dipped lower and gold moves higher in response. Either way, the following week didn't see price break down. It's looking vulnerable right at that line, but we'll just have to see how this week plays out. And thanks for watching. I'll update this chart in the future and we'll follow its progress. See ya.